Welcome to Triple Three Academy. Dominic, why don't you lead us off and tell them why we're here today?
Well, obviously, my name is Dominic Cruz, and welcome to Triple Three Academy. I am the CEO and founder of Cruisin' Social Media. That's
spell that for us.
So
please.
Cruisin', it's like you're cruising down the street, but without the G. So Cruzin Social Media.
Okay, we had to bring up this just a bit. We didn't realize I was so tall. Okay, so here we are. Welcome to Triple Three Academy, officially. I'm your host, Crystal Lindsey, and as we introduced already, my very special co-host, Dominic Cruz. This man right here is a marketer like I have not met. His passion, his creativity and thinking has brought him so far in being able to help so many clients be able to generate results. So to have you here with me today to talk about how to tell the right story to convert is a pleasure. So thank you.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity to even be here and to share my knowledge with you guys and, you know, for your clients as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, we're here because social media is changing.
That's right. And you know what? I don't know if they know, but did you know that live videos get 6 times the engagement as pre-recorded videos? I could speak really highly on that too.
Oh my goodness. So that is the point right here today. We're talking about live video marketing as a whole, but we always are talking about how to beat the Facebook algorithm.
That is right. That is right.
We're bringing back storytelling, branding, live video, and how to bring it together so that you can convert. Because as of January 11th, I know you've heard it from your clients as I have as well, January 11th has changed the way Facebook works. It is no longer about just boost the post as I've been telling you to do. That is important still, but you have to get comments to be able to be seen. You have to have compelling content to get people to comment, right?
Exactly. You have to invite people into your conversation. It's all about you because people want to get to know you.
Yeah, so when you tell me that, right, if I'm a client and you say, well, people want to get to know you, and then they hear me and they say, you have to create compelling content. That's a big ask, right? Because maybe you don't know. Maybe you want to go live, but you just simply don't know what to talk about.
Yeah, and there's, you know what? It's okay. If you don't know what to talk about and you are afraid to talk about something you don't even know, you're going through your head, it's going to be okay because because at the end of the day, you have stories that people want to hear.
Exactly. So even if you're a dentist or if you're a restaurant owner who I was just chatting with or a real estate agent or something like that, this fits in your business. So are you wondering, how do I go live and make it work for my industry, or does it work for my industry?
Yeah.
We're here to talk to you about that and how you can create the right stories to convert.
And have you been able to generate referrals from live videos? Oh my goodness.
Isn't that the point?
That is the point.
Right?
I remember actually, you know what, when I was actually an employee here at Triple Three Social Media. Right? We had this one client, it was a law client, and from a law firm. We did their very first Facebook Live. They had actually a guy. They had a guy that was working on their systems, but for some reason that guy went back to his car to look at their Facebook Live, and then he says, "Hey, he decided to become a client for them after their first Facebook Live." So it's very powerful.
Exactly. I'm coaching another marketer. Shout out to Miss Amy Soft, the virtual marketing mentor, as she was able to go live as a marketer in North Carolina and generate a client right off of her very first live as well. So it's possible if you use storytelling branding to tell the good news about how you're helping your customers. Stop talking about what you want people to talk about and start talking about what they talk about, what they care about, and put in case studies to back it up. That's why you're here today. So we've got some really cool formats. I've got 4 story formats from Fearless Social, and I've added the marvelous 5th here so that you get 5 story formats that are going to convert. Because that's why we're here. We're not just telling you how to get likes and comments and shares. We're saying, how do you convert? In order to convert, you have to think about the user experience. What is Facebook about, right? When you're scrolling through Facebook, right? What happens when you see a video?
When it happens when you see a video, you have really 3 seconds. All right? Think about it. You have 3 seconds to look at the video. You have 3 seconds to capture my attention.
Yes.
You don't really.
But what do you do when you're scrolling? It's like you're either impressed or not impressed, right?
Exactly.
You're either going to stop or you're not going to stop. You're going to click or you're not going to click.
I do it every
day. So if it auto plays, does that increase or decrease your chance of clicking on the video?
It really depends because I need to see because usually all the videos are played without sound. Now if they have subtitles on there.
Yeah, well, we're getting to subtitles for sure. So you want to make sure, and hi Jessica, by the way, you want to make sure that you can in fact get it to autoplay, okay? So if you can get subtitles, even better, but when you're scrolling through, if it's a talking head who's frozen with the play button on it, that means it's pre-recorded, somebody uploaded a video, and they're just talking, chances are you're not going to click on it.
That's right.
But if it's moving and it's fluid and there's movement and you're being bow and you're jumping out there like we are, you're going to click on it and put subtitles even better. But you got to really bring it in, okay?
Right. And you know what? It's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's human nature, right? So for centuries, we've connected through stories, right?
Right.
So we're talking about how to position yourself as an influencer and share content that your clients care about to generate leads, okay?
Right.
Again, that's what we're talking about today. So by the end of today, what are they going to know how to do?
You're going to know, you will know you are doing it right when people start to share your content.
Ooh.
Why? Because it's valuable. And the reason why it's valuable is because you're valuable.
Absolutely. I have another client that I'm working with, a nonprofit. Let me tell you this. This client boosted a post for, let me tell you how much.
How much?
$5.
Wow.
Guess how many shares they got?
How many shares?
496 as of yesterday at 3 o'clock and counting, okay? So in order to do that, I mean, again, get your $15 to $20 to turn into 100 plus likes, reactions, and shares and such. You need to tell a good story, and that's why you're here today. So the first thing we're going to recommend is you either simply pick what?
Well, you pick a story.
Pick a story.
Find a story. It could be any story. You want to be relatable to your audience.
Exactly. And so when you hear that as a consumer, as a user, as a marketer, as a real estate agent, it's overwhelming.
It is.
So we've simplified it for you. You have 4 types of story or an FAQ, okay? So special shout out to Fearless Social, who came up with the first 4 of these and really inspired me on how to integrate this into live video marketing, storytelling, branding, based on what I'm seeing as work with my clients.
Right.
Okay? So the first 4, I dropped the first one right on top, is the FAQ. So that's what makes it 5, the next 4 from Fearless Social here, okay? The FAQ is essential. Why would somebody want to tell an FAQ as a topic of a live broadcast?
Well, because, you want to always lead them with a question. You always want to, you want to ask something that's, been bothering a lot of people. Obviously, you have your target market, and then you have you have the number one problem that no one can solve, but you have the answers. So you want to always lead them with the question.
Yeah, and guess what? When somebody, think about it like this. If you want to simplify it, you get nothing out of this training. Nothing. And you're like, just give it to me straight, Crystal. What can I do in 30 seconds that's going to create content that converts? Let me tell you like this. Think of that question. You know that your Sally, your ideal client, what are they asking you right before they sign on the dotted line? Okay? So you figured out your most profitable service, you figured out your sales strategy, you've done Facebook ads or live video marketing, get them to the table, you do your interview, you present your proposal, and they're about to sign and they say, I'm really interested, but I want to know, how are you going to X? Or how do you X? Or why wouldn't you X? What's that question they're asking right before they sign? That is the topic of your very first Facebook Live and will probably be the most powerful marketing asset you have anywhere on your website or across any social YouTube channel. Answer that question, overcome the obstacle before the client has it. That's the point. But you can't just do an FAQ by itself, right?
No, you can't.
No, you got to tell the good news of how you helped your clients through that case, right? Tell us about storytelling branding, why that's important for an FAQ. Bring it home.
Storytelling brand is really important, especially when it comes to an FAQ, because not only you are asking the questions, but you are telling a story. We all relate to stories. Your brand is your story. And when you're telling a story, it wants to be compelling. It doesn't have to be out to everybody, but it has to be something that's going to be relatable. Talk about something like like something that was traumatic in your life, but also have that to the point to where it relates to your brand.
Exactly, and bring it home to your client case studies. This is the key. So you could say all day long that I'm an excellent marketer, and I'm going to tell you all the features and benefits of Facebook Live and how you can leverage Facebook Live to be able to create content that converts. But you're going to tune me out if you haven't already. But if I said to you, I'm an excellent marketer, I've been able to help real estate agents who don't know anything about Facebook Live and are struggling to grapple with how to even make their spot on the map. And now they're able to get anywhere from 15 to 20 shares on an average post because they're able to leverage storytelling, branding, and that's been able to increase the number of referrals they get in their business. Yep. Now you understand what I do. So it's not this hypothetical, this abstract. It's the specific where people find themselves. Right. Let me give them an example that pretty much everybody can relate to.
Go on ahead.
Do you remember making your resume?
I do.
We're entrepreneurs. We don't need resumes. We got a website. Okay, we got LinkedIn. But you remember making that resume way back when? Mm-hmm. And did you have a good coach who said to you, this bullet point right here is kind of vague. Can you give me a specific? Right?
Yeah.
That's the point of a good resume. You can say all day long, I have good customer service skills or whatever, but if you could say, I was able to increase the close rate or customer satisfaction rate by 16%
yep.
based on this, that's how you get attention on your resume. That's how you get attention on social. So stop talking generic, stop talking features and fluff and benefits. Absolutely. And get down to the core of how you help a client through that specific topic.
You know, it's actually really interesting that you brought that up because, you know, on resumes, I don't create them anymore, but I would tell like potential clients, you know, I was able to get a real estate client back in the past, like 2 houses with social media postings, and I had the honor to do that with 333 social media. So you always want to tell yes. something that's going to be very compelling and
This is a really good point, though. So as we're going to move into the next form of stories, because we got 5 we got to get through, and we're still on number 1 here. Mm-hmm. Let's give a good case study as I'm preaching the power of the case study, okay? Yep. So we worked with this client who was a real estate team who were looking to make a map on social media. Okay. They also wanted to get selected for a reality show, just like a secondary tier goal here, but they want to increase their awareness, their brand exposure, and get listings, right? Mm-hmm. So we were able to work with this client to figure out what their ideal clients care about, what are the myths that they believe, and then they went live twice a month on the myths associated with their real estate category, their niche, okay? So if the myth was, you can't afford your first home unless you have $20,000 down.
That's right.
They broke the myth. They gave a case study. They supported it, and that was a big, big generator in those leads.
That
right?
was a big generator, actually, and I was like, wow, that was pretty easy.
Yeah, right?
It was
you
pretty
just
easy.
Line them up, figure out what your myth is, break it on camera, and give a case study. So that was how they leveraged the FAQ, right? So again, I'm very, very passionate with this. Anybody who's ever worked with me on any consulting knows I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. 1 is who's driving your business.
That's right.
2 is what strategic initiatives do you already have in place. And 3 is what are people asking you right before they sign on the dotted line. And those are the things you need to focus on social, okay? So that's tip number 1. So if you get nothing else out of this broadcast, pick that one thing that people ask you right before you close them and do a Facebook Live and overcome that obstacle and show with one client case study
he is right.
the 3 elements. The darkest hour, their saga, what were they going through, what journey, what were their problems. Don't skip over this. This is 33%. And yeah, you know I love my 3s. That's 33% of the story. Next 33% are services provided, okay? And you say, this is what I gave them, and third one is ripple effect. So I'm going to walk you through a full case study here, and I'm going to show you how to do this with an FAQ, and we're going right into the next section. Does that sound good?
That sounds
Who's
good
listening
to me.
out there? Let me see you. I got some live people out there. Thank
I'm
you
not
so
gonna lie,
much.
you guys just kind of got a good example of the storytelling,
Right?
Brandon, because she just told a story and then she just related it to the
Right?
33%, and then you know when she says she likes her 3s, hey, go back to 333 social media.
You know what I mean? I'll let you 333 social media and cruising social here.
Yeah.
So, okay. So again, case study, FAQ, I'm going to take it to full circle. Bear with me here, okay? So if your FAQ is, how are you going, if you're a real estate agent and you're trying to get sellers, right? Get people who are looking to sell their home, and you want to promote to them directly, and you get them right up to the final push, but then they ask you right before they sign on the dotted line, but how are you going to market my home outside the MLS? And I bet you hear that a lot, right?
Yeah.
If you're a real estate agent, you probably hear that a lot. So you need to have not only a good answer, you need to have a compelling answer, and you need to tell the world before they ask you how you're going to market their home outside the MLS. So in that case, now you know that is the FAQ. You're going to pull it out, and you're going to think about it critically for 10 minutes and brainstorm who's the client case study. What was their darkest hour? What services did I provide to them? And how is their life better? So then you step back and you say, okay, all right. So John was the good case study here. Okay. So this is what you do on live. You say, welcome to. I guess they're not in 333 Academy, right? So you say, welcome to my live broadcast. I'm your local realtor here, and I know you're wondering how, if you're a seller looking to sell your home, you want to know how am I going to list your home outside of the MLS? And let me tell you, specifically, first thing I'm going to do in order to sell your home outside the MLS is I'm going to, I don't know, whatever it is.
It's whatever.
Run YouTube ads. I'm going to scour the neighborhoods. I'm going to do this. I'm going to build up this. I'm going to give your features, sure, list them out, but quickly jump into, for example, I worked with a client who, that's your intro statement. For example, I worked with a client who was struggling with all these problems and wanted to sell their home and listed it for 5 years and couldn't get a listing and was being told it was overpriced and couldn't get the right staging and wouldn't get this and all these problems. And then they met me. That's your transition statement. Yep. And I was able to help them be able to get their home listed, be specific on the services. I was able to get their home listed on the MLS within 5 days, get it staged, was able to increase the number of offers, was able to be specific, okay? And then transition to your third part, which is, and now, transition statement, and now they're able to go live in Hawaii or afford their daughter's dream wedding or invest in another home or start their business or travel the world. How's their life better? But that's how you go through. And then you have a compelling call to action. You just say, and if you're interested in learning more about how I can help you live your dream life and get your home sold, or if you're struggling to get your home listed and get it sold, contact me below. That's how you create content that converts. That's why you're here, okay? So I just I'm talking fast.
Yeah, she just dropped a whole bunch of golden nuggets on you guys.
So much. So seriously, you do not have to be a marketer. We were talking before we went live. I was like, what myth are we busting here? And what was the myth?
We were talking about storytelling.
Yeah.
Storytelling branding.
The myth was you don't have to have thousands of followers to be able to get seen. The
myth
is, what's the myth?
You don't have to have 1,000 followers to convert a sale. You don't have to have 10,000. You don't have to have 20,000, right? It's good social proof.
Yes.
But really, how many customers do you need a year? And out of how many followers? Let's say you have like 1,000 or you have 900. Out of how many followers on your social media are they a sale per year?
Exactly. Remember our attorney client, he came to us because he was competing with his good old boyfriend, and his good old boyfriend had all these followers. Remember? That's why he wanted to work with us. He wanted to increase his number of followers. And then he was getting clients after clients. He went from 11 clients to 30 and could not take any more clients. So he had to stop doing lives because he couldn't convert any more. Yeah. And he told us at the end, I said, I know you want to run a like campaign. We'll get the number of followers up on your page. Yep. We grew it a couple hundred, but he, whatever. And I said, he said, what did he say? He said, I don't care how many followers I have compared to my friend anymore, because he's only getting 5 people who like his post. Exactly. And this guy was getting 7,500 plus consistently.
Exactly. And his competitor was getting getting like 5 likes. Those people were just working for his friend. Yeah,
they were working for it. They weren't even getting seen. So again, it doesn't matter how many likes you get on your post. It doesn't matter how many people like your page. If you could tell a compelling story, insert a case study, you will convert, okay?
Boom.
So FAQ, if you got nothing else, that's how we work here with 333. So let's drop the second type of story. What's the second type of story we're talking about?
The second type of story is the origin. The origin.
Where it all starts,
Where
right?
it all started.
Isn't that a powerful thing for a business to tell that story?
It is actually really powerful, because you know what? When you want to tell a story, all right, you want to say where you were at this time. So like I do public speaking from time to time because that's how I build my brand.
Right.
And I will tell people where I was at a specific point in my life. There was like 2 years ago where I'll talk about in 2011 where I was, just bent out of shape. I didn't make the baseball tryouts, but then I start talking about what I was doing to get over that hump so I can get over it, and then I got over it, and then I talked about how where where I am right now. I was just saying.
So, isn't that the ripple effect? What we're just talking about, that story arc?
Yeah.
Exactly. Where the darkest hour of where you were at before you started your business, what challenge was there that presented it?
Right.
And then the second thing that you gave, great case study here, was kind of what services provided, what he did, how he started his business, specifics here. And then the third thing was now how he's making customers' lives better, right?
Yes.
That's the origin story of how you tell your business using storytelling branding.
I actually want to say this too. This is a good storytelling right here. Just before, because I just got a new client this past week.
Nice.
And we said that they were not having any consistent postings. They needed consistency. They needed more engagement. They needed comments. They needed likes.
Yes.
This is the whole point of getting your sales to come up.
Yes.
And then when I took over, I started making posts every day, and then all of a sudden they're getting likes. We're going to the networking events. People are starting to like their stuff. And now because I took over, they had within actually the past. Let's just put it. I'm just going to say it because it all started last week.
Yeah.
But for the last 24 hours, we got over 100 plus likes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's that crazy right now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So I love the origin story because it brings it back to your why, right? And so when I talk to marketers, real estate agents, anybody who says they know anything about storytelling branding, they generally only know the origin story. That you got to tell your why. You got to tell your story. Gary
What
V.
hurts you?
We love Gary V. Shout out to Gary V. You got to tell your story before somebody else will, and be passionate and tell your why. Yes, Gary, preach. Okay? But what I'm talking about is leveraging storytelling branding within that in a way to set you up to close your clients. Okay? So if you don't know what you need to say when you go live, think about your why and how you got started. What problem was around? What frustrated you to the point that you felt the need to start your business or to get into real estate? And if you don't have that why, you got a bigger problem. Okay? And then go back to the FAQ.
It's really funny because a buddy of mine, he says he doesn't like Gary Vee, but then he went up to Gary Vee and he says, "Hey, I don't like what you're doing." He has his own philosophies and stuff like that.
He's got cojones.
Yeah. And then Gary Vee was just like, "Good. I want you to tell people that why you don't like me." And Gary is telling this guy,
I love this,
to make a story out of it.
I love it.
And it's because not only is it branding, my buddy, but it's also branding Gary Vee.
Sure, absolutely. So tell your origin story and tell it well. Figure out your why and bring it to live and apply a case study. So I'm going to walk you through this real quick again here, okay? So again, you say, welcome to, we specialize in real estate. So I'm staying in real estate. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's stay in real estate, okay? Welcome to your local real estate agent. Well, I'm going to tell you to pick a niche. So let me back up. Okay. Welcome to your La Mesa real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
Pick an area, right?
Pick an area.
Or your tagline, insert your tagline. And you say, did you know why I was able to help and drop a case study there? Did you know how I was able to create a business? I was able to help families be able to make a difference in their life. Did you know I was able to get started way back when I was working as a whatever.
Well, I was working at a retail store.
Yeah, while I was working at a retail store, I was watching families lose their home, or I watched my grandmother do a reverse mortgage, or whatever that story, that saga. My dad was in real estate and he told me about these people who were not doing it right, or I was so compelled by him, or I felt this, I tried to do something different, but watching him in his path made me want to describe that saga. And then you come to the services provided. So I stepped into real estate so that I can list the specific services, so that I can help buyers be able to purchase their first home, be able to move up, help sellers be able to sell their home and either move down into something more affordable or move up to something that works. I did this so that I could list the specific services and then ripple effects. And now I'm able to, be able to work in an industry that I feel passionate, my dad modeled after me, or that I was able to fight the reverse mortgage or help reverse mortgage, or whatever you're trying to do. Tell that story in a storytelling format. Darkest hour, services provided, and ripple effect.
Where is the call to action? Because now I want to buy.
Yeah, so now, exactly, this is a good point.
I want to buy now.
This man's a marketer here. So I said, okay, so now I'm able to live this wonderful life and do these wonderful things and help these families, and then For example, I just recently helped a client named Sally.
Wow.
Okay? Let me tell you about Sally. When I first met Sally, Sally was struggling with all these problems and all of this, and then I recently was able to help her list her house and list these specific services she received. And then now Sally was able to sell her house for top dollar and be able to get multiple offers that she was able to negotiate up and be able to live in for longer for 30 days and get 20% over asking price. I don't know. If you're not a real estate agent, that didn't make any sense. Bear with me though. Okay. I'll do another example for you. So now you tell that whole story and then end with that call to action. So tell your origin story, your darkest hour, your services provided, your ripple effect, and then say, for example, bring it to a client, do your darkest hour, your services provided to them and their ripple effect, and then hit them with a call to action and saying, if you also want to be able to list your home, then comment below so that I can help you.
She's good.
Is that making sense? I'm breaking a sweat. Is it warm in here? I'm getting hot in here. Okay, all right. So what's the third type of story we're talking about today? I'm having fun.
That is, I'm having too much fun right now. All right, but the third one is product. What is your product?
Now, the question is, how do we take products into storytelling branding?
You know, that's a really good question. And you know what? The product is, how did this product help me? How did it make my life better? How did it make my family better?
Or Sally's.
Or how did it make Sally's life?
If you're, again, I promise not real estate on this one, okay? if you're a wedding coordinator, okay, let's go to the wedding coordinator.
All right, let's go to the wedding coordinator.
Okay, if you're a wedding coordinator here, you make dreams come true.
Yes.
Okay, your product is a beautiful wedding, but not just a beautiful wedding, but a calm bride. Okay, a calm bride, a beautiful wedding, an easy to experience thing. So when you talk about your product, you need to talk about one specific feature or benefit. Pick one. So in this case, I would not talk about the calm bride, the easy project management, and the attendees experience. I would pick one of those three and feature that feature, say that 10 times fast, for that product and take it through the storytelling arc with a case study. Okay? So, I'm going to take them through it again.
Take them through again.
So, welcome to your live broadcast for your local wedding coordinator. I am thrilled to be able to work with you. You know, this week, I was able to be part of a spectacular wedding and make somebody's dreams come true. Wow. I want to tell you a specific story about Sally. Sally, the blushing bride, who was so stressed and so anxious about her wedding and how we were able to help her make her dreams come true. So in this case, the bride in particular was getting the bumps where you get so stressed.
Nerves.
Yeah. I'm losing hair. But
goosebumps.
No. They were getting echinacea or not echinacea. Anyways, they're getting the skin disease. They were getting so stressed. She was starting to worry about her wrinkles. She was starting to, her mom was eczema. She was getting eczema. She was getting eczema. Her mom was stressing her out. She was feeling all this stress. She lost her job. She didn't know how it was going to happen. She was so stressed out. Her dad was flying in. She was coordinating all these things. Paint the picture of the stressed bride, okay? Don't just say she was stressed. Paint that picture. And then say, and then when she met me, I was able to, and talk about specifically how you calmed her down. What specific services calmed her down? I was able to make sure that going into the wedding, she had all the finances laid out, that she knew the timeline when everything attended, that I worked with the vendors directly, that I sent follow-up notes, that I checked in on her, that I sent her, wedding notes, all of these things. Talk about those services and really bring home. And that's how I was able to calm her down. This is an example of how I work with brides to really bring them back to their special day as we're making dreams come true. And it wasn't until 3 o'clock when she walked down the aisle that she finally took a deep breath and was able to enjoy the party and watch her dad and the twinkle in her eye and all the beauty and the ripple effect and the beauty and the sunset and how great the day was. And she sent me this beautiful note to tell me how special I made her day. And now I'm going to be helping her sister get married next year. So if you also are a stressed bride and you want to be able to have that day of peace, don't do it yourself. Give me a call. Let me know how I can help you plan your next wedding. Okay?
Well, I got to say, first off, I mean, if you are a bride to be, you got to find a Sally. That Sally
yes.
is out there.
Yes, you know what I mean? So, shouts out to my non-real estate wedding planners. That's for you. Okay, what's our fourth type of story?
The fourth one is the customer. Obviously, the customer is what matters because the customer is always right. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Who is your customer?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? One of my favorite questions to ask somebody is...
Oh, what is it?
What do you mean? What part? What do you specialize in? When they say, I do real estate for all of San Diego, and you say, well, where do you specialize? They say, well, all of California. And it's like, you're going in the wrong direction, okay? So it's like,
yes.
Find your niche. Even if you told me you did Gaslamp District real estate, I would say to you, even beyond that, find your niche. I need to know, do you do move up? Do you do move down? Are you looking for first-time home buyers? Are you looking for people who are buying investment properties? Their needs are very different.
Yes.
And stop trying to be everything to everybody.
Yeah, you know what? It really comes back to you. Mm-hmm. It really does, because it's like, I want a customer that's like me. I buy. It all comes back to who do you want as your customer? Is it you? Is it an identical you? It all comes back.
Absolutely. And you inspired me to remember what Amy, shout out to Amy Soft, virtual marketing mentor in North Carolina, what she said was, when you get the customers that you want, that are made for you, that are your sweet spot,
yep,
you'll never want to work with another type of client again.
Never.
When you find the type of clients, when you say, okay, I do move up, and this is this niche, this luxury market or first time home market, when you own that and you direct all of your pistons and your machinery and marketing all into the same direction for that target audience, it feels easy, it feels effortless. You attract the clients you specialize in, and your job satisfaction will go through the roof. But in order to get those type of clients, you need to, one, do your buyer persona. Make sure you go to 333socialmedia.com and download your editable buyer persona. Okay? But make sure you do your buyer persona, figure out your niche, and once you know your niche, tell the story of how you help those people.
That's right. You always want to find out where those customers are, tell that story, and you want to, obviously, age matters. Mm-hmm. The age does matter. Is it going to be a strong male demographic, female demographic? Is it 50s, 40s, 30s? You got to really break it down.
So this is an interesting point. I was having this conversation with my real estate client on Tuesday about the importance of how you market a house differently to men and women.
Yes.
The men want the man cave. They want to know how much land is involved. They want to know the rooms, the size, the square footage, whatever. But the women want to know the lighting. That's apparently the lighting, the vanity, the bathroom. You care differently, so you market the house differently. So that's a great example of what you're saying. Know your customer. Are they male or are they female? Are they 30 or are they 50? But then I'm saying, and this is where I get real passionate.
What's that?
Stop talking hypothetical and start getting literal. Ooh. So give a specific example. So if you say I work with 25 to 35-year-old females, then I need you to drill down and pick one person you've worked with who is in that demographic, 25 to 35-year-old females, and that one person, you want to have 10 more just like them. A real person, not a hypothetical customer, a real person.
Real,
that's the key. And then tell that story of that person. So, you want me to take them through a live broadcast real quick?
Take them through a live broadcast, because it is 3:33, so
right.
Take them through a live broadcast. 3:33,
we're gonna do this and bring it home. Okay, so I'm going to do this should we do real estate or non-real estate?
Let's do non-real estate.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say, I pointed out to 333 because that is branding at its finest. So every time you see 333, that is branding. You'll think of her brand.
333 social media. Here we go.
All right, so let's go with it.
I worked with somebody just yesterday I'm helping her with an album launch. So let's go down that chicken road, okay? So now, this album launch is a brand new artist, brand new album. And it's hard to know who's driving your sales if you don't know who's already driving your business, right? Because she doesn't have any business, so she doesn't know. So she thought that this was going to be really hard, and she was surprised how easy it was once we took it out of the hypothetical and brought it specific. Right. Just as you're going to understand it more when I take it out of the hypothetical, what she and I talked about, and give you the specifics as I'm doing right now, okay? Damn. So here we go. So specifically, if I was doing her Facebook Live broadcast, this is what I would say, okay? So welcome to my fabulous album launch release party broadcast. I'm here to tell you specifically why you should be able to get my album, right? Yep. Specifically, who is looking for my album? Let me tell you, it is specifically Sally. Sally. Now, if you're out there, Sally, I'm going to tell you right now that you are going to care about these challenges in your life, that you're struggling with these things, that these are the things, your pain points, that your struggles, your desires. And it really is based on Sally, by the way. You're talking hypothetical, kind of big picture, but you're bringing it home. So you say, for example, one of my most biggest fans is Sally, okay? So Sally specifically, she came to me and she cares about these things, these things, these things. And when she heard my music, she said she felt peace. She felt humanity. She felt the resonance of the universe, okay? Something deep here, right?
Yeah.
And the specific experience of the music. And now she's able to listen to the music and be able to rock out in her car and be able to be that part of this up and coming circle. So specifically, if you are out there and you're looking to find resonance with humanity and with the universe like Sally, I want you to click on my album below so you can get access to it. Okay, so that's a little bit of a stretch. Okay, bear with me, but I did that to show that it doesn't have to be a retail store or a real estate agent or something where you understand it's a product or service. It could be an album release and you could still do the product story. Or excuse me, for the customer story.
Yep.
Okay, last one. Let's bring it home.
Let's bring it home to what I stand for. That is a real good one right there. It's like a mission statement, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because if you can figure out what you stand for your niche, right? So for me, I'm committed to using live video marketing to create content that converts for busy real estate agents and entrepreneurs. Yeah. That's what I stand for. I can say that 10 times over, and maybe you hear me and maybe you don't. But if I say that and then back it up with storytelling branding, then I'm going to say, okay, so I do this and this is what I'm passionate about. For example, I worked with Sally here. You know, I love my Sallys, okay? So I worked with Sally specifically, and actually, the second client of 333 was a real estate agent. The first one was an interior designer, the second was a real estate agent, and the third was a musician. Go figure, okay? So I've been with real estate since the beginning here. So this is a true what I stand for moment here. So when I met my Sally, she was struggling with making ends meet time-wise. She had plenty of money. She was doing well in the luxury market, but she didn't have 2 minutes to rub together. Okay, she was one of those real estate agents who was so busy, had no time, couldn't trust people, had high turnover. Within 2 years, she had, I think, 6 or 7 assistants be able to drop off. Wow. And I watched the turnover me and started working with me in social. I was able to take her channels that were in disarray and sporadic and turn it into a lead generator by leveraging her existing sphere of influence. Specifically, we were able to showcase her properties in the sold, in the listing, in the escrow, all of these stories and stages to really showcase her as a top tier agent and get her existing sphere to raise her hand. She was able to increase her number of referrals by 5 at least every month. So this client in particular was able to see the value of social media and being able to work with an outside marketer rather than an internal receptionist because they have the skills and the longevity and you don't have to manage compared to the turnover of what she was experiencing. That is an example of storytelling branding at its finest and what I stand for. And that inspired me to be able to work with other real estate agents to find systems in the chaos, to find peace and leads in the social. And that's what I do for a living. Isn't that much better than just saying I'm passionate about helping using live video marketing to leverage to generate leads for busy entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs?
Okay. Fire right now.
I'm talking fast. I've only had one coffee today.
So why should you tell a good story live though?
Okay. It takes it out of the abstract, point number 1. What else?
Endless amounts of topics.
Exactly. You never have to sit at your computer and say, what am I going to go live about? You just have to pick your story format or your FAQ and apply your client case study.
Bingo.
Endless topics. It also allows you to showcase client successes. This is good for outside people to hear as well. Yes. But sometimes you need to hear the good news that you're doing for people yourself. Being an entrepreneur can be emotional. It's a little bit of a roller coaster. And sometimes when you're low, you need to remember that you were able to do incredible things for people. And using these case studies will boost your confidence in yourself. If you're losing faith if you're out of love with your business, this is how you fall back to love with it, okay? So showcase those client successes.
It all comes back to being selfless because people love selfless people. And then also to get a good live story.
And
generating.
Yeah, tell them.
You want to generate 50 to 100 engagements. That's either likes, comments, shares.
Yeah, under 20 bucks.
Yeah.
When you're telling a good story on live, it's possible. There are people out there who are spending 20 bucks right now. comment below if it's you, that, or maybe you don't want to, they're spending $20 out there and they're getting 3 likes. That's because you're going after your cold audience who doesn't know your brand, who trust you, and or it's because you're not boosting, and or you're not telling a good story, and or it's not the topic they care about. Comment below if you need to figure out if your content sucks or if you're not boosting it appropriately, and we can help you. All right? So the other thing you're going to get is multiple shares. When you tell a good story, you know you're doing it right when you get what I call the holy share. I've dubbed it. You can use it too.
Holy share.
Yeah, the holy share.
That sounds funny to me too, though. I'm going to start using it a lot more, though.
So comments are what it's all about after January 11th. You pay money to get seen, but you're not going to get seen if you're not getting comments, even if you pay. Let that sink in. It doesn't matter if you pay. If you don't get comments, you're not getting seen. So in order to get comments, you have to tell a compelling story, which is why we're talking about this.
Boom.
And you know you got a good story when people share your content.
Boom.
What's the number one reason why people should tell a good story?
The number one reason is because you want actual client referrals.
You want a client referral. So if you want a client referral off live, comment below and let us know what your topic is going to be. I would love to be able to coach you and give you some feedback on that, because I want you to be able to generate leads. So are you interested in generating leads? Are you interested in going live? I've got some good news for you. Can I tell them about something I'm working on?
Go ahead. Bring it on home.
Oh my goodness. So I am so thrilled because we are about to launch the first paid training program from 333 Social Media. So several clients by request have asked me, they've said, wow, I just wish I could get, can you not talk so fast? Can we record this? So I know I talk fast. I'm passionate, okay? So you got to rewind it and slow it down. You got it all on tape. But even more than that, I have my Facebook Jumpstart package for real estate agent entrepreneurs. Very successful, but I can't be everywhere. So this allows you for under $20 to be able to go live and get the training to be able to do it. So stay tuned. I'm a couple weeks out. I'm going to have it at S-Star. If you're there, I'm speaking at San Diego Association of Realtors, and I'll have it ready for you. So I want you in that training to understand new social media, how to pick your tech and budget, and how to go live. I'm also going to give you special access to product reviews, how to create a mega list, screen share, how to leverage case studies, how to go live, how to add subtitles. You'll get all these screen shares on how to do it. So stay tuned on that.
Wow.
So hopefully you got some excellent ideas on how to run your next broadcast. And that is about all we're going to have today. So with that, go ahead and tell them what they can do to stay in contact with you, Dominic.
Well, you can always email me at Dominic@Cruzin Social Media, which is DOMINIC @Cruzin Social Media, which is CRUZIN Social Media. Visit my webpage www.cruzinsocialmedia.com, and be sure to drop by my Facebook page, drop a like, drop a comment, and please do share because
because go for it.
Social media is changing.
Yeah, because social media is changing. So I want to know, is it cruising in social media, or is it cruise, as in Dominic Cruz, in social media? The world wants to know.
It is me, Dominic Cruz, in social media, transforming your business.
And then when they're feeling good about their social, they're cruising in social, knowing they got it under control.
Because it is automation.
There you go. So hopefully you're learning that the real value of live video marketing is that it's real time and incredibly efficient. So long gone are the days that you're going to spend several $1,000s. Specifically, I heard someone spend $14,000 for a 60-second video and not have it perform, or have it perform and get mediocre results. Live video outperforms these pre-recorded videos because of the authenticity factor. So if you need more likes, that's what you need to do, is be able to go live and go live often, and make sure you stay connected with 333 Social Media and Cruzin Social Media. And with that, I'm going to tiptoe around like this. And that's how I'm going to take you out, you guys. Thanks for watching. Ciao.